Welcome to the new RiverCityGamers Podcast, hosted by SCXCR and Well Unreal 007, as well as many other members from the RiverCityGamers website. Stay tuned for all the gaming news, new pickups, and everything else we feel like talking about on the RiverCityGamers Podcast.
Welcome to the RiverCityGamers Podcast. This is SCXCR. This is Unreal. The first podcast of 2016, and it's really going to say thank you for sticking with us for 2016. Yeah.
Okay, I think I fixed it.
Oh, okay, should we start over?
Nah, let's just go into gaming news.
Okay.
Gaming news! So real.
Now, I want to start off gaming news on a positive note. Usually I save stories like this for last, but we're going to start with it. Are either of you familiar with a guy named Terry Garrett?
No.
That name escapes me.
Well, in May of 2011, he was going to prove that he could finish Ocarina of Time, which is significant because Terry Garrett is completely blind.
Oh, okay. I heard this story. Just from that.
Yeah, he's finished 2D titles, but he wanted to finish a game with a full 3D world. And he did it. He beat Ocarina of Time recently. The setup that he uses is kind of interesting, because he has these special stereo surround sound speakers that he uses, and sound cues are the main way that he figured out all the different places he had to go and all the things he had to do. I mean, he obviously had input from viewers and a little bit of prior knowledge, but it's impressive nonetheless.
I mean, to be able to play video games blind at all, that's got to be real impressive. And, you know, it really also says a lot for sound design on a developer's part.
Oh, absolutely. Now for the incredibly old news. Guess who's in Smash?
Shantae?
No, canceled. It ain't Banjo either.
Ain't Shovel Knight either.
Yeah.
Two people were announced in the, well, they called it the last Smash Nintendo Direct. Corrin from the new Fire Emblem game, who looks to be more than just a sword user, but still yet another Fire Emblem character.
And it's pretty much a walking advertisement, and they pretty much admitted that. It's like, hey, this game's coming out soon, why don't we put them in?
And then they finally announced the overall winner of the fighter ballot to get into the game. And this made people butt mad.
And I don't know why.
Me neither, because it was Bayonetta.
And I was just in some call during this time, during the Smash thing, and I can't remember if this was before work or anything, but since there was just a lot of shit going on I couldn't hear, I left the call. And then when Bayonetta got announced, I joined back in and it was like, okay, now I'm happy. I don't really get why people are mad. It's because, either because their favorites didn't get in. Stats really shouldn't lie, and people are saying that it's the UK's fault that we got Bayonetta.
Thanks, UK.
Yeah, thank you, and that's not sarcasm, because we're happy with that pick.
Well, Bayonetta was also one of the top 5 in the US, too.
They pretty much, combined it together, and it seemed like as
Also,
a total tally, it was number 1.
Bayonetta was tops in Europe.
It also helped that the Bayonetta 2 was published by Nintendo, so I'd imagine with her being on the top 5, probably meant, do we want to go through some licensing hassles with Microsoft, or should we just go the easy route and get Bayonetta in here?
Yeah, that's a good point, too. They specifically said, quote, realizable and negotiable characters, unquote. So fuck all of you people who are voting for Goku.
Oh, God. Well, considering that we've been getting Toyota ads where fucking Gohan and Trunks morph into a car, Goku still probably could have been possible in Smash in this fucking era.
Technically, Goku's already in there. Just play as Sonic and get all the Chaos Emeralds.
No, you could actually play as Knuckles, though.
I can see why some people are disappointed, though. I've kept up on two different hype trains. There was one with Banjo where Phil Spencer tweeted that if Banjo would get into Smash, he can negotiate with Microsoft about giving Nintendo the rights to use Banjo. And then there
Phil
was
Spencer wasn't in charge, this wouldn't have happened.
I forgot what they were. Wait for it. I know they were like really pushing for Shantae to be in Smash too. So I can see why.
Long shot.
Yeah, but the dedication there was pretty admirable though. And then of course there's the whole rumors with Shovel Knight, getting the amiibo and all that.
Which I think the amiibo's actually out on store shelves now in some places.
Yeah. So to see Bayonetta in there, hell, just to see Cloud like way back then was a huge shock, like a genuine shock.
Cloud, way back then, as in maybe a few months ago.
It feels like way back then to me because I've been too busy looking into books and zapping people.
It does feel like a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud's out now, for God's sakes. Like, he's been out.
Shadow Snake's actually played as him. He plays really good. But in any case, to hear Bayonetta, I was just going out to eat when my girlfriend told me, and I'm like, oh, now I could play as gender-bent Hideo Kojima.
No, that's
Kirby.
That's the.
Or would that be genderless Hideo Kojima?
I don't know.
I don't want to think about it. Let's move on. Activision bought Major League Gaming.
Okay, can we just audio splice in stupid MLG parody video audio and just call that gaming news?
Sure.
Okay, next.
Moving on.
Wow, look at all the shits I give.
So, actually, without moving on, I do want to ask, does that mean only one game franchise is going to play at MLG and no other games are qualified anymore? Which means esports is dead?
So is this going to be like a YouTube buying Twitch situation? Or Google buying Twitch?
Yeah, I was about to say, YouTube didn't buy Twitch.
Yeah, well, Google bought Twitch, and everyone flat out hated it because they were imposing that content ID bullshit. And then when everyone moved on, Amazon decided to buy Twitch instead.
I have no idea.
I'm just... If this is really going to be like a thing where it's nothing but Call of Duty, people
I would
get
laugh. Because it's so predictable.
Yeah.
I say let's move on because none of us care about MLG.
Well, do you care about Square-Enix?
It depends.
Do you care about Shinra's cloud game service?
What is
Who?
that? I've been hearing about this news thing and I'm like, what is this? I've never heard of it.
What the hell is that?
It's a cloud gaming service.
And it's gone.
Oh,
Already.
How long was it up for?
The dev kits for this went out in 2015 and it's already being shut down.
I guess they finally got the memo with OnLive. Oh my goodness.
Jeez, even last year, I never heard of it. And now I don't care.
I hope everyone got compensated for all the games they bought.
You get a $10 coupon for one of the Final Fantasy 13 games. Speaking of shitty deals, now this is kind of an older game, but how familiar are either of you with the Descent series?
I've only heard of the movies.
Movies?
The Descent?
Not The Descent, just Descent.
Then
The
no.
spaceship flying around games.
Then the answer is no.
Nope.
Like I said, these are pretty old games, but Descent 1, 2, 3, and I think that there's another one in the works. But they're all under the Interplay banner. And Interplay is kind of in legal trouble because the original Descent was developed by a group called Parallax Software. They still exist, they still own the copyrights to the Descent games, but Interplay was still selling Descent and not paying them royalties.
Uh-oh.
And they haven't paid them royalties since 2007.
Uh-oh.
Is it me, or does Interplay seem to be really into getting into legal trouble lately?
Interplay is a total clown show. They've
Yeah.
done that for a while.
Especially when it came to Fallout, when they lose the rights to it.
Well, remember, they lost the rights to it because they couldn't manage their money and they had to sell it off to avoid going bankrupt.
And then they tried to sell it on Good Old Games. And then that too got them into trouble.
I'm trying to bury my face deeper in my hands and it's not happening.
And I think they were trying to develop Fallout Online a long time ago.
And then that got canceled.
I remember when they canceled the sequel to Stonekeep so that they could make 2 other games, one of which was Baldur's Gate 3, which got canceled. What's weird is Interplay actually does have the rights to sell Descent and Descent 2 on places like Good Old Games and Steam. But again, they weren't paying the royalties.
Understandably, someone's gonna kick through the door and ask, "Where's my money?"
You know what? We started gaming news on a positive note. I'm gonna end gaming news on a positive note. And it has
Sure.
to do with Hideo Kojima. Either of you care to guess where I'm going with this?
Well,
He
is it
joined up
how
with Sony,
he already
right?
like worked with Sony?
That's not what I'm gonna talk about.
Okay, so like how recent is this?
This is like yesterday.
Oh, then I don't know. What do we got?
It's a mystery to me.
Are you familiar with the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences?
I may have
Oh wait,
heard
no,
of
I
passing.
heard of this one.
Hideo Kojima is going into their Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I did see the headline article of that. I'm like, oh, sweet.
Joining the likes of Rockstar Games' Dan and Sam Houser, Epic's Tim Sweeney, and Valve's Gabe Newell.
Gabe Newell.
Was it worth the wait?
I don't know, you'll have to ask Kojima that.
I'd say yes, because at least this didn't happen around the time where Konami grounded him. You
Kojima-
cannot be accepted
Damn
to
it, I
the Hall
was
of
drinking
Fame.
when you said that.
Huh?
Took a drink of water as you said that. Almost made me
Oh.
spit it out.
Oh, whoops. I apologize. Hope your microphone's not covered in water.
I'd like to think of Hideo as the stick and Gabe as the stone.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like Konami as the ass, and the stick is jammed up it. I have to pull it out.
It could
Well,
never
I
be
guess
pulled
that
out.
works too.
It cannot be pulled out. It went so far high up.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get as far away from this as possible and go straight from gaming news right into upcoming releases. And
There's-
can either of you tell me what Alakeen's gun is?
No.
Nope.
Some guy's gun.
I haven't heard anything about this, but I watched the videos for it. It looks like Hitman. Maybe with a little Splinter Cell.
So Splint Man, or Splinter Man.
Hitter Cell.
Yeah.
I still need to play the Hitman games at some point, so
I don't know. The Hitman games never really like appealed to me that way.
I've never tried them. I should at least try it though.
I've
But
only
guess what's
tried it as
coming
a
out
kid.
Guess what's coming out on the same day? Yeah,
Hitman?
that day is February 9th.
Hitman?
No.
Oh. I don't know. I actually don't remember
Mighty
outside of
Number
Fire
9.
Emblem.
holy shit. My number 9 is actually getting released.
Oh, crap!
Assuming
I forgot
it doesn't
that game
get delayed.
existed.
Assuming it doesn't get delayed for the 5th time.
Oh my god!
I
I keep
can't-
forgetting I backed that game.
And don't worry, there'll be a sequel to it in about maybe in 5 years.
Hey, guess what else is coming out February 9th? Assassin's Creed Chronicles.
Is that supposed to be like a collection game?
I don't fucking know.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just the India game.
Because
I think it's a side scroller.
Because I did read that Ubisoft's not going to make an Assassin's Creed game for 2016.
Scott, can you refresh my memory? Is the Resident Evil Origins collection coming out in January?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just checking because I'm still slightly interested in picking that up.
Yeah, if you haven't bothered to get Resident Evil, like the HD version, then good news. You
Oh
can get a
no,
physical
like
copy.
it's like, oh, it's all download. That's cool, but it's like physical of both games. Like, yeah, okay, but I have both on the GameCube, so it's like it's nice, but it's not high priority. I am interested. I just wanted to double check, unless they delayed it. But,
Of course, some of the updates are pretty nice to Zero.
even though Zero's not quite out yet.
Well, they do it eventually.
They did well, like how they do Resident Evil 2 remake eventually.
And a little later in February, Ubisoft has another game coming out, Far Cry Primal.
Wait, fucker, Primals already?
Yeah, this is Ubisoft we're dealing with.
What? I don't really know too much about that installment.
All I know is that it's caveman time and you become the Beastmaster, which sounds pretty cool already. I mean, I gotta give them this much credit.
But
They tried
this is Ubisoft.
At least they're trying something unique.
But like how soon it is just so. Jeez.
I don't know. Maybe they figured that Blood Dragon did so well. Let's make another sort of game that'll go with Far Cry 4 and make it standalone.
I just realized, Ubisoft is like the Chinese takeout of video games. It's usually ready pretty quick. You order it, and then it shows up at your doorstep like 20 minutes
10 minutes.
later.
In 10 minutes. And then
Anyway, Street Fighter V is also coming out.
Yeah.
in February?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've heard good things about it.
Well, yeah, but like, still, damn. I know Fire Emblem is February also.
Yeah,
Fire Emblem
Fates, both of them.
Yeah, including the special version that comes with Revelations. I can't believe. Oh, God, anytime Resident Evil fucking ruined that subtitle for me.
Well, the spine of certain versions of that game ruined it.
Well, yeah. I was about to say, like, the Fire Emblem one, like, the Revelations one isn't getting a spine because that's going to be, like, a download thing only. Which I don't know. Like, I have it pre-ordered. I don't know if I'm going to regret it because Fire Emblem and me haven't played nice. And I'm still, like, not happy about that. As in, the franchise not playing nice with me, personally. Although, I still think, like, the whole Pokemon-esque, like, route they're going with it is a little questionable. I don't know.
You know what else has questionable things about it? Another game
Ubisoft.
coming out in February, and the last one I'll mention. Project Cross Zone 2.
That's February? How late?
It's 3 days before Fire Emblem Fates. In the middle
Oh.
of February.
Should I bother with Cross Zone 2?
Wait, you played Cross Zone 1?
I didn't finish it. I have it, like, I played it, and then I just stopped.
Yeah, I never got around to finishing it either.
I think, like, the whole deal of Cross Zone was, like, you play it, it's fine, and then it hits you, and then you just stop. And what I mean it hits you is that wow, this is fucking boring!
Yeah, it's like you've beaten the first stage of the game. Well, that's the whole game right there for the next 30 levels.
Although, like, there was one point where Oni was talking about this escort mission thing that I don't even think I got to. I think Oni got farther than I did in fucking Cross Zone. Because I still don't know what he was talking about. But all I know is, like, almost every level in Cross Zone I've played consisted of guys go place. Where are we now? Repeat. Literally
So-
every time they go to a new place, it's like, where are we? What
So-
is this? Who are you?
So it sounds like the pre-alpha version of that RiverCityGamers the game thing I made, except a lot longer.
Yeah, and
Continue development on that?
the whole premise of each level is basically what Unreal here just said. New world. Who are you? Are you good or are you bad? I'm good. Okay, let's fight together.
One day, part of me wants to try and sit down and continue it, but man, like...
It is an interesting crossover game, and it's good to see that. The
big question, though, is... Does it do the same things as wrong as Namco X Capcom did? Or did it do it better or worse?
I'm hoping for better.
Because we never got Namco X Capcom over here. But from what I saw, it seems like gameplay-wise relatively similar, and everything else-wise, as in 20 years of dialogue per level. And yes, that is an exaggeration, but my god. If you thought Xenosaga was bad... Well, good news, the Xenosaga cast is in it. So that makes the dialogue twice as long. By that, I only mean like one character from Xenosaga or two, I think. I don't know.
I think there's like 2 in there.
Like, maybe the benefit of the doubt will get me with Cross Zone, but part of me just wants to say, don't fall for it. But there's Xenoblade characters. Don't fall for it.
And with that, upcoming releases comes to a close. And we go to recently played. Now... Angel, why don't you go first?
Why
did I point as I said that? There's nothing but a computer monitor in front of me.
Don't you got icons on Skype?
Yeah, but I have Skype minimized.
Oh.
So, a couple months ago, I've played this RPG game called Lisa. I got the complete edition when it was on the Adventure Game sale. This game was funded by Kickstarter and was developed by this guy named Dang Ling, who, from what I understand, is a renowned martial artist. This guy kind of knows his stuff, and in fact, he knows his stuff so well that he tries to apply theory to fighting styles of every character in the game. But that's probably not too relevant for the game that I'm about to talk about. The whole point of Lisa, which is also sometimes referred to as Lisa the Painful, is that it takes place in the post-apocalyptic future. Think Fist of the North Star. Where you play as a fat, balding, middle-aged guy who has a drug addiction to this fictional drug named Joy. In this post-apocalyptic future, there are no women at all. So, society collapsed. Pretty much everything from the present day is gone. One day, the main character, whose name is Brad, finds a little baby who turns out to be a girl, who may very well be the only girl left in existence. So he decides to raise her as if she's his own. And then years later, she would turn up missing, and he has to go out to find her. What makes the game interesting is the party system. Now, the game is made in RPG Maker, so gameplay, it's pretty much what you'd expect. What does make it interesting, though, is that they apply modern elements to it, like you can get creeped out, or read it out, that's the stat here. Getting pissed is another way of saying being berserk. But what really stands out is all sorts of different characters you can recruit in the game. There's about 30 different characters. You get the first character right off the bat, who really sucks at first. He goes by Terry Hintz. He's an absolutely terrible character when it comes to combat, and he has nothing really useful to offer until you level him up enough to where he'll gain a skill that'll piss off other enemies or get them crying just by talking to them. And eventually he'll also get a skill which raises chance of critical hits for any of your teammates. And he'll earn more viable combat skills, though they eat up his ability points or special points. And eventually he'll just learn the strongest attack in the game called the Hottest Dance, where even the game designer was like, I don't know how to describe this, it just does a shit ton of damage. But there's all sorts of different characters who play differently. You'll find a bowsman who behaves with an anger meter instead of a special meter, where the anger meter will self-replenish depending on how much attacking or how much he gets attacked. Then you'll find an annoying character in the game who can talk to other enemies to death or even talk to allies to raise their stats. A character who plays Qatar, who is capable of healing the entire team and removing status elements from the whole team as well. A wrestler character who attacks with his head. And not to list all of them here, but you'll find characters who play similar, some characters who play almost the same, and they can die permanently too, which can result from a couple of different choices you have to make later in the game, and also from the unavoidable first 3 rounds of Russian roulette that you have to do, and that's random, by the way, so you have to hope that luck is in your favor. Now, if you're playing normal difficulty, it's not bad because you can save whenever you want when you find the save points. But if you decide to play pain mode, which makes the boss fights harder, makes your resources a little more scarce, and not to mention restricts your saves, then yeah, it's going to be pretty fucking painful, alright. Honestly, while the game can be pretty difficult, once you find your playstyle with all sorts of different allies you can recruit in the entire game, like if you prefer to oil enemies up and then use nothing but fire attacks on them, or if you're the kind of person that likes to bombard on an enemy while you have a bard on your side, or if you just want to make a crazy team combination which involves a fish, a man wearing a fish head, and a man wearing a bucket that can gunsling, then you can do that. Personally, the best part of the game is its sequel, Lisa the Joyful, which is much more to the point, much shorter, but the concept of the game reminds me a lot of No More Heroes, and that automatically makes it really good for me. As far as other games I've played through, there's not a whole lot else I can go on without talking about this game and that game and all that, and I bought like 20 games during Steam sales, so that's all I have to say.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go next. I'm not going to talk about Xenoblade again, because Unreal's already covered that in the other episode. Still getting on Devil's Third now and then, but as far as new stuff that I've played, there's one game I've played called Apotheon. It's the sort of like side-scrolling action RPG Metroidvania type of game. What attracted me to it is that it takes place in ancient Greece, and it has to do a lot with Greek mythology. For those of you who don't know, something I've always had a fascination with since I was a kid is Greek mythology. So I was on board with this game, especially when I saw the art, especially when I saw the art style, which is all done like art from ancient Greece. So it's all like black and gold and highly stylized character models and stuff like that. What I like the most about it is that it holds true to the Greek mythology thing of all the gods cannot get along. They're constantly backstabbing each other. I guess I should go back to the main story. You play as a human named Nicandrios. One day, Zeus decides, fuck humanity, we're just gonna do our own thing up here, and orders all the gods to just stop helping out the humans. So like, the crops go bad, the land dries up, and everything just descends into chaos. And you're Nicandrios trying to make your way out of your village when you're confronted by Hera. She basically makes a deal with you that you can get up to Mount Olympus and start going after the gods that are siding with Zeus. Because there's dissent about whether the gods are going to side with Zeus or whether they actually want to help the humans, and there's a whole bunch of like conspiracy stuff going on in the background. So you end up going up to Olympus and either helping or killing certain gods and taking on traits from them. And it's like minor stuff like your armor decreases like less rapidly, or your attacks are powered up slightly. Some things look kind of awkward about it though, like I don't want to call it marionette-like animations that they use for some of these characters, but it's... Have either of you ever like seen a Flash animation where like every articulation begins a new limb?
Yes. Very
Like-
like a
awkward.
separate part.
twice.
So you'd have like, for the arm, for example, you would have the upper arm, the forearm, and then the hand. That's kind of what this game does. And at times it can look pretty janky and even glitch out.
So it's a Newgrounds Flash game. The
It's
game.
basically the Mike Weiss Show Greek edition.
Sort of, except way better quality.
Well,
And I say that,
yeah. I wouldn't-
I say that, but I've had a couple of times where character models glitched the fuck out. There was a dog that was trying to attack me, so I jumped up a couple of levels where it couldn't reach me. For some reason, it started trying to bury itself in the ground, and the dog split into 3 parts and started like strafing along the bottom of the map. I wish more than anything I would have thought to get a screenshot of it, because oh my god, that was weird. And it also does like ragdolls when you kill certain enemies, and that can end up looking really awkward. Sometimes they'll just embed in a wall somewhere. But overall, I really like the game. There's like the main stuff that you do, like going to the gods and trying to get their favors, but there's also stuff on the side you can do. Like, it starts off with you finding this note about meeting up with a certain person, I think in either the refugee commons or the sewers, and getting information about some hidden stash of weapons and goods. And then it just goes from there. It snowballs to become like finding an assassination list that one of the gods gave for people who were still favoring the humans. As far as like combat goes, you can carry a shit ton of weapons. Last I checked, my character was holding, I want to say 14 different just melee weapons and 8 different ranged weapons. And there's like weapon endurance, so your weapons can eventually break. But there's plenty of them lying around that I don't really have to worry about ever running out. Or in particular, running out of the ones that are the most useful. There's a set of arrows that are basically explosive arrows. I wind up using those a lot. And there's also something called assassin daggers, because there is an element of stealth to this game. I mean, it doesn't show up very much, but it is there, and you can use it. Oddly though, the most powerful weapon in the game I've found are just big-ass rocks. I mean, you have to move slower when you're carrying them around, but you throw them at someone, it's usually a one-hit kill. And I will say some of the boss fights are pretty creative. Like, I believe it's when you go to fight Artemis, the god that's associated with like flora and fauna and forests and stuff like that. And the challenge is, there are these 4 totems spread across an area, and Artemis says something to the effect of, "You've been doing quite well at hunting the gods. Now let's see how you do when you become hunted." And he turns you into a deer. And you have to go to all 4 of these totems and like power them up, and that'll turn you back into a human and Artemis into the deer. And then you just go back and forth like that until one of you dies. I found that kind of creative. Anyway, I'm going on for too long about this game because I have one more after this, but I really like Apotheon. I'm up to, I believe, Poseidon right now. I just did Ares. And
The God of War.
truth be told, I actually like this a lot better than I liked God of War. I thought God of War was just kind of okay. I like the presentation, but gameplay-wise, I kind of got sick of it. I'm not talking about God of War there. I'm talking about another game. This is actually a really old game called Stonekeep. And this goes back to Interplay. It's an Interplay game. Stonekeep is a really old dungeon crawler. I say really old, it's like from 94. Stonekeep, the premise is you're playing as this guy named Drake, who when he was 10 years old, living in the castle of Stonekeep, the Lord of Darkness called Coom basically like just sends this wave of death through Stonekeep and kills everyone and everything, including your pet dog. But you get rescued from Stonekeep and teleported away by this person as Stonekeep submerges into darkness. You come back later, and the goddess of the earth takes your spirit down to Stonekeep to try and purge the evil from there, and eventually cause Stonekeep to rise back to prominence. And as far as the dungeon crawling goes, it's sort of traditional in that it's grid-based, so if you just tap the forward arrow, you'll move forward 1 unit. Sort of like what Dungeon Master did. And movement can be kind of slow, because anytime you turn, you have to turn a full 90 degrees, and that becomes really cumbersome if you're trying to look for like hidden stuff in walls, and there was a ton of hidden stuff in walls. Either switches to open up different areas, or health items, or potions, or stuff like that. Combat can also be a little janky. Like, you basically run up to stuff and click either your left mouse button or your right mouse button, depending on which arm you have your melee stuff equipped in, which is something else I like, because there's no delay between the two. So if you have 2 swords in your hand, you can just keep swinging both of them at the same time over and over. It looks really awkward if you time it just right. It almost looks like you're just spinning a fan blade in front of you. But probably the most broken part of the combat is ranged weapons, particular throwing weapons. The earliest enemies in the game are ants. Really large ants. So I'm blaming playing this game way back when on my fear of insects. For my fear of insects, I should say. But the point is, you start off with a couple of daggers, and just trying to kill an ant with a couple of daggers takes like, I want to say 5 or 6 attacks, if it's like an average sized one. You throw a rock at it, and you can kill it in 1 hit. And what's really broken about it is, the entire game, all the combat, all the movement is just real time. It's not turn-based or anything like that. But when you go into your inventory, time stops. So what you can do is use a throwing weapon, go to your inventory, get another throwing weapon, go out of the inventory, throw that, go back into the inventory. You can just create this endless stream of throwing weapons. And there's just absolutely no way an enemy can survive it. It even works if you were just like throwing arrows. Not shooting arrows, throwing arrows, just like lobbing them at the opponent. For some reason, I still really like this game though. I said you're descending into Stonekeep, but in truth, only like the first 3 levels are the Stonekeep Castle. Then below that, you get to the sewers. Below that, you get to the mines, and then you get to a network of caverns. You enter the fairy realm. You go to Kulkum's Keep. I find it to be a really enjoyable game. And it's not the kind of thing that I can just like breeze through in a night or anything. I'm still actually not done with it. I'm about halfway through it, and I've been playing it for, jeez, like 12 hours. I've been playing it when I've been taking editing breaks from the next $5 gaming. So I think that's all I can say about that. And that leaves Unreal.
Oh boy. Well, I do have like 2 in-depth games I could talk about, but if you don't mind, I want to just very lightly talk about 2 other things, since I didn't get much playtime in them. Well, technically in one of them. Like, around Christmas Eve, I finished Xenoblade Chronicles X, and the only thing I do want to say, like, as a final thought, that may be my game of the year. Probably. I really, really, really enjoyed it, but I honestly think that the original Chronicles still has a much better story and cast of characters. Because, there's a lot I want to talk about, but that's, like, all spoilers, and, like, I don't want to, like, delve into that out of respect. SCR, if by any chance you ever do beat the game, talk to me about it, and I'll explain, like, what happened. Now let's go in-depth on first-person shooters, because that's clearly all I play. Strangely enough, I kind of bought the PC re-release of Turok Dinosaur Hunter. What surprised me is that I ended up finishing the game, like, not in a single sitting, but, like, the second time I went back after, like, I don't know, just playing the first level for the hell of it. Sat down and I just kind of beat the game. which is surprising to me personally, because even though I have Turok on the N64, I never legitimately beat it. Like, I've only played certain like areas and stuff via cheating and stuff because I was a kid, but never really a full legit playthrough until the PC version, and that surprised me. I will say, even though I got it at the temporary discount, which was like $16, the price point for Turok is not good. It's just too much for what's being offered, honestly. Like, if it was at $10, I'd say yeah, but 20 just seems too much. Especially since they're, like, I don't know, eventually coming out with Turok 2 on PC. I think 20 would make a little more sense in terms of, like, what's being offered in that game. Or maybe even 15. But the original Turok, 20 is way too much. All things considered, this is probably the best version of the game, by far. It plays really well, and aside from a few things, I don't know exactly what they changed level-wise, so I can't really comment on that, but it plays really well, it's really smooth, and it was really fun. I got hooked to the point where I ended up finishing the game. And I didn't have to, like, look anything up. I didn't have to look up Chronoscepter locations or any of that. Which surprised me, because I thought I would have to. But no. That was really nice to go through. But what I'm trying to say is I do recommend Turok Dinosaur Hunter if the price is not $20. That's all I'm saying. I'm just honestly waiting on Turok 2, personally. Jordan, you've played the re-release also.
Yeah, I was the one that brought it to your attention, in fact, which I was kind of surprised to see on Steam at all.
Well, no, like, I was aware of this whole thing happening. I think the more thing I wasn't aware was how soon it was going to be.
Yeah, and they're working on a re-release of the second game. And depending on how well this and the second game sell, they may even do a remastering of the third and maybe Rage Wars.
I'd be happy if they did, like, the third and Rage Wars. Part of me also kind of wants them to, like, remaster Evolution by, like, completely changing the game. Only if they had the ability to do that. But in reality, I wouldn't mind seeing Turok 3 and Rage Wars redone. Because, like, if Rage Wars was redone, that could work out. And they could probably fix that co-op bug that plagued the N64 version. That only got patched if you had a gray cartridge of Rage Wars, which is apparently super rare. Because back then you had to call it in and say, yo, shit's fucked up, can I get a replacement? Oh yeah, here's the patched version. But who knows? It'd be nice to see, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'm just happy they're going for Turok 2. Now that game I may need a guide on, because my god. But the second game I wanted to talk about is, well, it's Call of Duty time. You guys ready for Call of Duty?
I've always been ready.
Winslow 3.
Carl Winslow 3. I'm probably just gonna avoid talking about the entire thing. I want to mainly focus on what the single player was like this time. I don't even know what the fuck happened. And I'm talking from a story perspective. Because, like, it's obviously, like, all set in this, like, future setting. But it's... the best way I could say is... I don't want to say it's like Deus Ex. Because it gets into some things that are, like, all involving this, like, cybernetic brain stuff. Do you mind if I go into full Black Ops spoilers here for the third game?
I don't care.
This is gonna be the Black Ops 3 spoiler cast.
Oh no.
Oh no. However, but, like, I feel like I need to talk about it because, Christ, it's so weird to describe this. So, Okay, since this is a Call of Duty game, who do you think the bad guy is?
Russia?
Nope.
Korea.
No.
Aliens.
Close, but no.
Alien Chinese.
No, my god. Okay, so apparently there was this whole thing that happened some odd years ago, and it was just this like cybernetic testing thing with humans, and an accident happened, and from that experiment this fucking cybernetic fucking AI being was born from it, and yep, that's the bad guy. This thing that has been taking like over the brains and stuff of like all these characters that you're kind of introduced to but not really throughout the game. And like the game gets fucking weird. Oh man,
System Shock too.
Like you're going through like you're like mind jacking some people. Well, not like mind jacking, like not like that, but like basically you have to like I forget like the terminologies and stuff already. But there's this one level where you're like jacking into this like this female squad member's like brain, and she's pretty much explaining like what the hell happened. Why did this Law and Order SVU guy, yep, he's in this game. Like why his squad did this like weird mutilation shit earlier on. And it gets so weird. You're going through like World War II setting fights through her brain, and then you're in a house fighting fucking zombies, and it's all this like AI trying to like get you out or something. I don't know. And then the end of the game, you're just like inside this weird freaking like, oh man. You're just in this like completely other world because it's all happening like inside like the cybernetic brains and stuff. And then like you apparently do destroy the bad AI because Law and Order SVU man stops him and allows you to like, you know, completely get rid of him or whatever. But then at the end, like when you walk out, you apparently like, well, okay, you don't really have a character in this game. Your character talks, but he's referred to as player because you could pretty much customize how he looks and all that crap. You can even make a male or female and such. But like at the end, apparently Law and Order SVU guy jacks your body and stuff, which I'm like, wow, what is this, Crisis 2? Are you confused?
I heard a bunch of words.
There's words there. I can't read words. Like I'm already having trouble trying to explain it. Like maybe it'd be better if you saw it, because there's just a lot to take in. But that's pretty much the ending of it. But that's a possible ending. There's another possible ending, because in the first level of the game, you're not like cybernetically enhanced yet. Like at the end of the first one, some robot just like rips your limbs off and shit, but you still get rescued, and then in the next level you're in surgery and stuff. Apparently, before each mission starts, there's like this like really fast like paragraph that scrolls, and it just takes the words from it and says like the level name and stuff, you know. Jordan would know what I'm talking about, because Black Ops like 1 and 2 did this thing before he's level 2. It's kind of like a stylistic, I don't know. Apparently the first paragraph in level 1 pretty much says, oh, by the way, you die in surgery. So in other words, the entire campaign could also be interpreted as you were dead after level 1 and everything else just didn't happen. It was in your mind while you were in surgery. So like, I don't know what the fuck. I will say, like, even though it sounds like I'm just like completely talking out of my ass, I would honestly take this storyline over Ghosts and Advanced Warfare. Ghosts was funny though, but in a completely bad way. Advanced Warfare was like completely standard, and this one was like trying something, but I don't even know what the fuck.
a Call of Duty game that tries.
Yeah, that's why Treyarch is more trusted now, which is funny because back then they were on the bottom, but now they're on the top. And since it's 2016, that means don't buy Call of Duty this year, period, because it's Infinity Ward's turn. You can't trust them after Ghost. But yeah, there's also the whole multiplayer and zombie stuff, but it's pretty much... It's Call of Duty, but they made movement and everything, like, different. And it works fine. There you go. That's what I played. Xenoblade is still my game of the year 2015, I think. Or at least... Here's my awards. Xenoblade Chronicles X is a release in 2015 of the year. There. That makes no sense, and I'm sticking by it.
But what's the best PlayStation Vita game of 2015?
Ask Todd and Aaron. I'm just reminded of, like, when Phalos did the movie of all time. Like, not the best or worst, just the movie of all time. Well, I'm done with my end. I have nothing else.
Okay, well, with that said, let's go straight into our discussion topic. This is sort of going to be a discussion, but it's also kind of a game. There's a person named Remy Ismail, who I don't expect you to know who that is, but he's starting to coin new lexicon, new terms for things that show up in gaming. And he started asking a bunch of other people to come up with their own. So I want to just throw the definitions of some of these guys at you and see if you can come up with your own little interpretation of what you might call these things that we see in games. Ready?
Sure.
Alright.
Okay, starting with a sharp drop in the pace of a game after dense content with strong potential to disengage players.
An interest curve, maybe?
I don't know.
Should I give you the example that the person who defined this came up with?
Sure.
They called it the Bloody Baron effect.
The Bloody Baron, was that inspired from?
It's from a quest in Witcher 3.
Hmm.
Huh.
I think that I would call this the out of the TV effect.
Out of the TV?
After Persona 4.
Huh.
Because all the good shit happens when you're in the TV.
Ah, okay.
Let's try another one. When you have to fight a boss that is impossible to beat and you have to lose.
Oh man.
TV Tropes already coined this term. It's called hopeless boss fight.
I was about to say, like, I was about to think about what games have done this, and like...
No, oh wait, you're talking about you have to lose, as in you could win, but to progress you need to lose.
Yeah, I call this rival schooled.
Because I remember there's a part in Lisa the Painful where you can participate in a wrestling competition. Anyway, you can progress into singles, but once you reach the end, you're specifically told to lose this fight to keep the conflict with the Deaf Queen going on. You get no reward for doing this, but it's your only means of staying in the Federation if you keep losing. Because if you were to win, you get the belt, but you're banned from participating.
Okay, there is a game, I'm not sure if this would count, but like, apparently in Xenogears, there's this boss fight that the game pretty much expects you to lose. Like, if you lose, you still progress. However, you can beat the boss, but it's really hard. So, like, I don't know if that would count.
I do know that in Tales of Destiny, where there's one boss you face that you're supposed to lose at, but it is possible if you beat him, which is usually accomplished by cheating. And when you do beat him, I think the main character just suddenly turns evil and then the game ends. If I remember correctly.
Cool. I'm trying to think if there were bosses like that in Xenoblade Chronicles. And I think there weren't. It seems like it was early game because he didn't have the Monado yet.
Okay, how about this one? This might be a little tricky. Like, when you see a Metroid without the ice beam in the Metroid games, Something you instinctively know to avoid without any prompting from the game.
I'd probably call that the spike effect. Like, you know for a fact spikes are dangerous to step on, so stay the hell away from it. This goes without saying. Or,
The bird from Ninja Gaiden effect.
I got another one. Touching the hot pan effect.
Avoiding death from Gauntlet. Because I played, like, the new Gauntlet, and there's some, like areas where, like, death randomly comes out, like, at increments, and you can't kill him, and if he touches you, you instantly die.
Oh, how about this one? When you have a game with an otherwise tight concept, but then unnecessary additional content shows up that muddies and complicates it.
The Kingdom Hearts effect.
Or, like, in a single game, you mean? Or
Yeah.
okay, in a single game. Crap. The Triforce quest effect from Wind Waker, where you have to, like, go and find all the fucking Triforce pieces.
I say Kingdom Hearts because you know how they have that because it's an interesting concept at first, and then they throw the gummy ship system at you. Like, where does any part of the game where the gummy ship fits in? It doesn't. And it just feels like a major waste of time.
I'm trying to think if there's any other games I own that do something like...
I know one
Like this
example I can
specific-
throw out for this one.
What?
I would call it the card game effect. For every time Final Fantasy did it.
Ah!
Ah. The Blitzball effect.
You know, the world's in danger, but hey, want to play a quick game of Blitzball?
Blitzball.
The person who came up with this called it the biker levels effect. I agree with that too.
So the Ride to Hell effect. Oh, no, turret segment effect. Because those are common, you know. We got anything new?
Oh, there are plenty more.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Alright, let's do it.
When you have a level that is so frustrating, it nearly makes you hate an otherwise great game.
Oh, I have a bunch of this. The Xenoblade Chronicles effect, the Xenoblade Chronicles X effect, the Devil's Third effect, the...
I know TV tropes would just simply call it that one level.
What did this person name it?
The meat circus effect.
What?
I don't
Meat-
know.
So,
Oh,
I'm just
the
trying
Dracula X effect?
I'm
You
just trying.
You guys saw it live at Anime North. Well, some of you.
Is it the last level?
What else would it be?
I don't know. Maybe it could be Richter on that one water level. No, it's fucking Dracula.
Now, I was joking about the Xenoblade Chronicles stuff, but without avoiding spoilers, there was, like, a boss fight in Chronicles that, like, I hated, and apparently a lot of people don't like. And with Chronicles X, you can mitigate it by, like, the game allows you to, like, lower that boss's difficulty a bit. But I just said, no, fuck that. It's for cowards. The original Chronicles didn't allow that. So, you can bet your ass that I hated this one boss for about a good 2 hours of my life.
Zelda 2, Death Mountain.
The F-Zero GX effect! All of it!
A late game level.
A late
Okay,
game?
late game.
F-Zero GX!
Okay, fine, moving on.
Well, yeah, you could go on forever. Or the Chalice Dungeon effect in Bloodborne.
I think you might have fun with this one.
Okay.
When players almost unanimously agree that a user-created mod is essential for the quote-unquote right experience of a game.
The Skyrim effect.
Yeah,
I know Payday 2 definitely counts here.
The Fallout effect.
I could go on about some of the gameplay design choices of Payday 2, but there's so many mods which many people would consider cheating. And then I'm looking at microtransactions. I don't think you have any right to tell me what's cheating anymore.
What's
Oh,
the
you
actual name of this effect, though?
I honestly don't have anything for this one. I don't deal with any of this modding shit, I'm just no. Oh jeez. Showing me so many things to do that it kills my desire to do any of them.
The Xenoblade Chronicles effect. specifically Chronicles 1.
I would call this one MMO shit.
That too!
Yeah, that.
The RPG side quest effect.
Man, kind of brings me back to playing MapleStory.
Uh,
That was a mistake.
I forgot.
Could also be the Assassin's Creed effect, because all that extra shit is like...
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the first game especially was bad about it, but they forced you to do it to progress at all. At least in later games, you still had them, but they were optional for the most part.
But nothing really changed. What's this one actually called?
Oh, the one I just said?
Yeah, did they name it anything?
They called it Map Assassin.
No one. Yeah, they probably took it after goddamn Assassin's Creed with that title.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not the people that you're actually supposed to be assassinating. I think you're supposed to assassinate all those quests.
The player, you assassinate yourself.
Character assassination authorized.
Oh, please.
Speaking
no.
of,
Uh-oh.
an original... This is just because it has the word character in it. An original player character in an existing franchise designed to have no personality and thus blend in.
Hello, player name here.
You said create a character, right?
An original player character.
So like one you make, or I'm lost by that.
I assume it's like a character.
No, it's like
that
you have a franchise, and then there's a new original character, and they blend in by just being a blank slate.
You know, kind of like the new guy in the Ghostbusters movie, game. Shit.
Oh shit.
Or also the main player character in Undertale.
The Call of Duty effect?
Oh, well, yeah.
That is literally a player character.
Crap, I this is confusing me. I cannot think of anything on this one.
Alright, well, the person who came up with this dubbed it Blando Calrissian.
Okay, I like that.
How about this one? When a conversation option completely misrepresents the subsequent dialogue.
The Fallout effect.
That's what I was thinking.
I could also say the Bethesda effect.
Nuking the cola.
Nuking the cola. That's not what it's called, is it?
No.
Okay, I'm wondering if Chronicles X would actually fall into this. Since the game kind of lets you...
It kind of does.
But, like, it seems more like... Like, I don't know, part of me, like, is on the fence. Like, maybe in some conversation is, yeah, but others it's more like, not really.
All I could think of is some of the conversations that Undertale makes fun of.
What did they call this?
They called this one the LA Noire effect.
Damn it! And I played LA Noire!
You know, I think I've seen the relevance in this one.
So, why? Because the doubt button just, like, fucking makes no sense half the time?
I'm guessing that's it.
Yeah. It's funny, because, like, I heard, like, during development or something, it originally wasn't going to be called the doubt option. It was going to be called something else that would make more sense with, like, how Phelps, like, acts in terms of the interrogations. But somewhere down the line, they changed it to doubt, but didn't change the dialogue.
And that's why the game never got sequels.
Oh well, LA Noire, for what it was fine. But it's one of those games that you could literally, like, look up a guide in 100%, because, like, nothing changes. You just, like, have the answers laid in front of you. Pretty much cheating on a test.
Oh, I gotta share this one with you just because of what the guy called it. When you know ahead of time, your choice won't matter.
The Telltale effect.
Yeah. Yes.
Was it called the Telltale effect?
I had a thought. It's gone now.
Oh. But what did he call it?
He called it caging.
Oh, damn it!
That too.
God damn, that works too.
That kind of works. I would argue that Heavy Rain gave you more choices than Walking Dead Season 2.
They should have just called it the Beyond Two Souls effect.
Played a whole game with an iPhone.
I played the whole thing more times than I would have wanted. Hey, did you know there's a PS4 re-release out?
Oh my god.
Well, moving on. When a character dies or gets hurt in a cutscene from something they were able to withstand during gameplay because drama.
The Aerith effect.
Gameplay story segregation. Again, taken from TV tropes.
I'd say the Aerith effect.
Yeah.
Is that what
I
they
would
call
say
it?
either that or the Solaris effect.
What's the Solaris effect?
Sonic 06 when Sonic dies.
Oh, God! Ah! End world! End world!
I still don't know what.
That could also apply to the Call of Duty effect, where like, hey, I've withstanded bullets, but not this one. And then you get set on fire.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2 in particular.
You can withstand all sorts of shit, but one bullet to the abdomen? Oh well.
Oh well. Respawns don't count, shut up.
Oh, I gotta share this one. When you beat a boss, only for the cutscene following the fight to show you losing to the boss.
What? Oh. So it's kind of like an earlier one, except even if you do win, you still lose. Kind of like this one trope I know of called Heads I Win, Tails You Lose.
I think Xenoblade Chronicles does do that also. In some slots. But it's more like, not more like you win, it's more like you get them to half HP, then the game just stops you. What do they call this effect?
This one was called Budokaiing.
Budokai.
Fucking DBZ.
You know what? Good example. Dragon Ball Z Hyper Dimension for the Super Famicom. Because the first fight you play as Piccolo against Frieza, and even though you can beat Frieza, the game still treats it as if you lose. Because you're supposed to lose to Frieza. And the game does this at least 3 times with different characters. And then it's always up to Goku to save the day.
Okay, what else we got?
Just for the record, I'd call that one Thanks Sega CD, because of that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game.
Oh!
Right!
That's right.
Okay, how about all games that feel the need to stick to a tradition and throw in an unneeded boss fight?
Undertale. Well, no. We need an effect for this one. I would.
Super Mario Maker.
I want to say something related to Undertale, but that's probably be a bit too recent of an example. Because there is
it an evil effect? 6? Resident Evil 6ing?
Well, I do know that you and SER here were like scathing during that. The hell is that final boss's name again? From
with Chris?
Leon.
Oh, I wasn't scathing.
Simmons.
SCR was. I was getting mad at Chris because of the fucking running segment.
No, I was mad because he just gets stabbed through the chest and dies.
Yeah.
After all the bullshit before that. Even after becoming a biological transformer. Moving on.
Beast Wars.
I can think of an example that fits that thing. It just refers to a fine game, but with a boss fight that comes out of nowhere that no one likes. Undertale has such a thing, but this boss is so well hidden that you have to go to a secret area and then set your internal clock to a specific day and time in order to fight this boss. This boss is basically a furry self-insert.
I'm gonna stop you there.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Well, wait, what did they call the unnecessary boss thing?
They called it Mandatory Sponge.
Okay.
Okay, this is the last one I'll do.
Oh.
A sudden, unexpected, and deeply confusing 11th hour tailspin of plot elements.
Oh shit.
The Xenoblade Chronicles effect!
Everything about Xenoblade Chronicles?
I can't talk about it! There's something that happens, like, after the final boss that just... Woo!
Okay.
I wonder if... I don't know if X would count in this, but man, Xenoblade Chronicles threw me for a fucking loop.
Assassin's Creed 2, perhaps.
Oh, Christ. That's also possible. I completely forgot.
I know I'm going back to one of my old videos for this, but I'm calling it lifelining.
I remember that very fondly. I remember the ending of Assassin's Creed 2 where yeah.
Silent Hill, maybe.
Well,
Probably specifically 2.
I think number 1 is a little more confusing to follow than 2, really.
No, if we're talking about like 11th hour plot shenanigans,
I guess.
like 2 could technically count, maybe even 1. I don't know about 3 or even 4. I'm looking through my collection to see if I've got anything.
I can think of an example for the opposite of this. Where like the game tries to do the 11th hour like unexpected plot thing, but you already saw all of it coming.
Yeah.
I call it survivoring. But do you want to know what they actually called this one?
What?
Xenogearsing.
Damn it! Damn it! I was in the right.
You mentioned
know-
it
Let's
earlier.
call it franchise.
I do remember reading somewhere about Resident Evil 6 where where they decided to throw in this bullshit plot twist where there's apparently some group called the Family that was behind absolutely everything in the entire series.
So the Patriots of Resident Evil.
In case you need other reasons to be happy about Resident Evil 6.
Oh, how about
Sierra.
the Metal Gear Solid 2 effect? Like, yeah, there was a whole bunch of like BS with like the whole Raiden thing, but the thing at the end with the Patriots. That
Yeah, I remember that one. I do remember that that's the kind of game you have to replay it at least one more time to get what the hell is going on.
I'm not surprised about the Xenogearsing thing, because from what I looked up, Disc 2? Yeah. I'll find out on my own, maybe someday in the future.
Well, I've exhausted the list for this,
Oh, okay.
which means we have to go to viewer questions. And believe it or not, we have one. It's certainly a question.
What is it?
Alright, what do we got?
Perhaps a human asked, if you had to morph into any US president, attain that president's memories and personality, and then live as that president for the rest of your life, which president would you be?
My fellow Americans. My fellow Americans.
Does senators count?
US president.
God damn it!
Don't
I wanted
fuck
to be.
with senators.
You cannot be a fictional senator.
Well, hold on. In Marvel's Capcom 3's ending, Mike Haggard does technically become president.
That's
so...
not a real life president.
Come on.
Unfortunately.
I don't want to get into politics. Unless you want to talk about Payday 2, because I just wear president's masks, so there you go.
They don't know Obama.
I guess I'll pick Bill Clinton.
Why? Because you could talk about showing people something that's well tall.
Yes.
I would say James K. Polk, because he's like the thief class of presidents.
Richard Nixon, so I could be immortalized in Futurama. Yeah.
Seriously though, I would say James K. Polk, because he was just like, hey Mexico, that's some nice territory you got there. Be ashamed.
Be
if you had to do
ashamed.
it.
But no, I'm leaning towards the Nixon thing, mainly on Futurama.
Alright, well, if any of you have a question you want to ask us that we'll answer on the podcast, feel free to leave it in the comment section on the YouTube upload on the site, or just message us directly, or ask us on Facebook, facebook.com/RiverCityGamers. For now, though, we get into video updates. And I will start us off. First off, I'm editing the next episode of $5 Gaming right now. Hopefully, I can get it up within a week or two. Beyond that, I have already started recording a little bit of footage and scripting out some things that I can use for the video after that, which is going to be on Stonekeep, Bones of the Ancestor. As you can tell, I'm looking forward to it. But that's why I've been playing the original Stonekeep. Beyond that, I've been meaning to get back into Stasis, so I can finish my playthrough of that. I actually have a bunch of footage recorded, I just need to do commentary over it. and I'm not going to half-ass it. Beyond that, Unreal,
When?
within
That's
a
it.
week.
Alright. That sounds completely doable.
And I think that's it for me, so... Oh, just a brief thing, Fearless this week is going to be Super Kawaii Desu Edition.
Uh-oh.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
I don't think I do.
It's gonna be Tsundere Simulator, isn't it?
Pretty much. And Unreal, why don't you go next?
Well, like you said, next week.
And Angel.
I got nothing really. All I can say is I got one semester to go and I'm looking forward to it. So that's my update. It's not going to be in a video though, but it is an update.
But it could
That's-
be in a video.
It could be. I just choose not to.
Although, to be fair, I'm on the fence on whether I should do text or a video on my games of 2015. Because I kind of want to do something like that, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a video or if I'm just going to do a post. So that's about it.
Alright, and that winds us down to the end of the podcast. Once again, I'm SCXCR.
I am Unreal.
Angel Halo.
Okay,
And I'm
let's
gonna
get back to
keep
Games Done Quick
watching-
now.
Wait, what?
Let's get back to Games Done Quick now.
Yeah, well, it's been on during the entire podcast.
How are they doing?
Donkey Kong Country 2.
What's the donation total?
As of right now, $379,591.
Nice.
Also, Shrek for Tony Hawk happened, but it happened at an hour where I wasn't awake.